Welcome to Viking Voices, the people of Princeton. I'm Tom Burton, proud superintendent of Princeton City Schools. We're going to jump right into this episode. So excited about each of the segments we have. And we're going to start off with Middle Level Teacher of the Year through Ohio Council of Social Studies. Yeah. Adam Sarver, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So Adam, middle level teacher. I remember I spent so much time in middle level. I loved it. Every second of the day seemed like it was changing.
Absolutely.
The young adolescents, certainly, I remember talking one time, I did a keynote one time, and I left the stage and people were talking about middle level, middle school. Oh my goodness, that's like being sentenced. And I'm like, no way, that's the greatest level there is. Talk a little bit about the middle level and why you enjoy it so much.
Yeah, so with middle school, they're making the big jump from elementary to middle school. So from fifth grade, being a close-knit community, they know that all the teachers, they know every student that they're with all the time. And then coming in, it's quadrupled, even bigger than that. There's like 400 or 500 students. So that's a lot for them to take in. And it's hard, but it's also an opportunity to learn from one another. There's a lot more diversity. There's other students from all different cultures and backgrounds. So middle school, while it is a challenge in that aspect, it's also a great opportunity for them to learn not just from their teachers, which they have more of, but more people around them as well.
So Adam, when we were off camera, I said I'm going to ask this question, that what separates you? But we know there's great teachers all across the state, and probably some other teachers so deserving of this award, but it takes something different. Can you talk a little bit about what you bring, what you feel is like something that you're really, really proud of as a teacher?
One thing that I strive on is just building those relationships with my students and just being honest with them and putting them first. So yes, my job is to teach them and educate them, but it's also my job to take care of them, to look out for them and help them grow both inside the classroom and outside the classroom. So I think that's something a little bit different than me, is like we'll have a student that might be having a hard day or not getting along with me, and they may have to be removed or whatnot, but I'm gonna go after and find that student later on, have a conversation, try to restore that. And if it's something I did, I'm open to apologizing, open to being honest with them. And I think that's the number one thing with middle school students is they need someone to A, listen to them, and B, be honest with them, be present with them, and build that relationship. So I think that's something I do a little bit different, is just that's my priority, is to build those relationships with those kids and to be present and be there for them.
Well, even though you look like you just graduated from college, I know you haven't, although you're still very, very young in my eyes.
Yeah.
But Adam, how long have you been at Princeton? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I graduated from Wilmington and came straight to Princeton. This is my 9th year here. I enjoy it here. I really love being at Princeton, and hopefully I'll finish my career here. So I've got a few more years to go. But
Sure, you certainly do.
Yeah,
you certainly do. Hey, so as you were talking about the relationships, we know relationships matter. I mean, there's no question. You can have all the content knowledge in the world, but if you don't have those relationships, kids aren't going to buy into it.
Absolutely.
But the inverse is also true, right?
Yes.
So you can have the greatest relationships in the world, but if you don't provide the content, kids aren't going to learn. So talk about one unit that you really like that's really engaging.
Yeah, so we do all the ancient civilizations, so India, Mesopotamia, but my favorite is Egypt, because the kids have some background on that. They've seen some movies, read some books, and it's really engaging to them because they've seen it before. So one of my favorite lessons is like we do a cartouche, which is an ancient Egyptian nameplate, and they get to look at the hieroglyphs of ancient times, which are over 700 symbols, and I'm like, well, we only have 26. And so like, how do they learn all those? So we go through some different methods of how they learn those and give them the opportunity to bring in some artwork and bring in an example of them to express themselves, and they actually get to make their own nameplate using hieroglyphics. So that's one example of how bringing in the content, as you say.
So that's wonderful. I wonder how kids would do now if they'd like snap their fingers and went back to that time without cell phones, without all that stuff, having to understand 700 symbols. But I want to put it past our kids to be able to just naturally go in there after they got through the shock of not having a phone.
Yeah, that would be a big challenge for them, because technology is everywhere for us. I mean, even for me, it'd be hard to disconnect. Like if I need to find out something or look up something, like I said, look up something, I'm not going for a book, I'm going for my phone. So disconnecting like that would be a challenge, but I think as the students are learning, they have people around them. And that's what sets Princeton aside from different from all the other schools I've went student teaching and subbed at for a while, is that Princeton, there's people around all the time that's there for you. If you need something, all you gotta do is ask, and there's someone there.
You know, you talked about the team and the importance of a team and family atmosphere that Dr. Maxim created earlier.
Yes. So like I go back to my remote teaching last year, and we had a great team of teachers where we collaborated and we worked constantly. We had the same kids. So that was a huge advantage of the versus in person. We had the same students. So if a student worked with me better and I could get something out of them more personal, great. If not, Mrs. McCabe could, or some of the other teachers, Mr. Dockery, and that was a great atmosphere to have teammates like that where we could bounce ideas off each other. And really, it set us up to do some really great, amazing things with our remote kids last year.
One of the things that we did also talk about is just this amazing social studies department that you have in the entire district. And Mr. O'Connor does such a great job. Mr. Mulholland was recognized not too long ago as well. It's great work. So how does it feel to be part of a team, a social studies department, right, that is so highly thought of?
It's great for me. I mean, I'm going to be a little selfish here. I have a lot of people to learn from. I know we have the pleasure of working with Miss Tash, who's still with us.
Sure, absolutely.
And she has went on to do some more administrative work, I guess you could say, as a coach. But she's still with us in the social studies department. She does a great job, and so that's, like I said, I'm being selfish. It's nice to have that, to learn from, get ideas from. Anytime I'm struggling with something or I have an idea, I can go to her or some of the other teachers that we have, and just they're able to tweak it and just really help me out.
Yeah, I remember doing my rounds, kind of walking around the district, and one of my first weeks on the job when I was associate superintendent before I became superintendent, I walked past her room, and she was lit up, and the kids were like hanging on every word. So it's such an amazing teacher. We're very, very, very pleased to have been able to hire her to be an instructional coach, because she's certainly helping not only social studies but across the board in the middle level.
Absolutely.
Middle school, I should say. So Adam, certainly appreciate you coming here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We are proud to have you. I love the humility you have, but I also like that fire, man. I sense a fire in you that you can, will, should, need, and will do better.
Yes.
And keep getting stronger and all that. We need that attitude. We need to be able to model that with our students. Any other thoughts you want to leave TV land with?
Just be kind and be present with those around you. Like I was mentioning earlier, when you listen, just listen. You don't have to think of, well, what am I going to say next, or how am I going to win them over? Just listen, because we all need to be heard. We all have our struggles. Everybody's going through different things. So be present, be kind, and go Vikes.
Go Vikes, for sure. We'll be right back with you. Viking Voices, the people of Princeton.
On air or online, this is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
Welcome back to Viking Voices, the people of Princeton. I, of course, am still Tom Burton, superintendent, proud superintendent of Princeton City Schools. Here today with 3 amazing students. We have 1 full IB candidate. We have 2 other students, rigorous classes all the way throughout, including maybe a budding director, someone who helped create a film that you guys will be able to see on our website at PrincetonCitySchools.net. So let's get right into it. So who we have here today, Annette Strickland. Annette, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Full IB candidate. So this is what we talked about. Last time we featured some students that were in the IB program. And in education, we always cut everything down. We say IB, but what is IB?
Well, IB stands for International Baccalaureate. So it's essentially a college level program, but it's international. So students from all around the world are a part of it. And the course is just, it's international as in the name.
Sure, and we know that there are so many classes to choose from at Princeton, right? Great rigor and whatever. Do you know, there are very few students in the state of Ohio that could boast, and I know you're modest, but can boast being a full IB candidate.
Yeah, it's a very small program, and not a lot of schools have it, but we're lucky enough to have it at Princeton.
Yeah, Florida, Florida has it all over the place. There's tons to say. So you are competing when you're taking these tests with students all across the country.
Right.
And the world, actually, just simply amazing. David Trent, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hey, so David, we're going to talk a little bit more about your IB experience, but let's have people understand who you are. So what else are you involved with? What other kind of courses are you taking?
Outside of school, I'm involved with cross country. I'm the captain of the cross country team. In school, I do Key Club, National Honor Society, and then also play the violin in Symphonic Orchestra.
crazy busy schedule, right? Hey, Saturday, well, way back when, because this is going to air a little bit later, but way back when you had a great cross country. I heard you had a PR.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun home meet, you know, everyone was there, and I think that definitely helped our whole team. Like, I think every kid on our team PR'd at that
Yeah,
race.
that's what I heard. That was amazing. On our home course, on senior day, what a great way to celebrate that.
Exactly.
So talk a little bit about Symphonic Orchestra. So for those that don't know that, talk a little bit about that experience and talk about the level that you have to play at to qualify.
You know, well, at Princeton we start in 6th grade, and then everyone I think most people stick with it because I think it's a pretty fun experience. And then once you get to the high school level, you know, you have auditions, and then you could go into symphonic or scarlet or gray orchestra, and I think it's the same for band as well. And then just getting into symphonic orchestra is like, it's a big honor. And then once you're in there, like, the rigor is pretty hard. Like, you gotta, you know, play your instrument pretty well and stuff, but I think it's pretty fun. I definitely enjoy playing the violin, and I think some days, you know, you might not want to just play the instrument, but once you get on it and you're playing and everyone's just making music, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, it's, to me, this great parallel in life, right? You could play yourself, which can be great. There's no question, but the collaboration with other people makes such beautiful sound, and that's what kind of separates, I think, Princeton from a lot of schools. It's a beautiful tapestry of diversity that we have. Mary, talk a little bit about the diversity, a little bit about your experiences, and I don't know if you have enough time for you to talk about everything that you're involved with, but give us some highlights about Mary Kimball.
I do a lot of music things. I'm in marching band and jazz band at Princeton. And outside of Princeton, I'm in the Cincinnati Symphony Youth Orchestra, which is a youth program through the Cincinnati Symphony. And I'm also in SIWE, which is a preparatory band through CCM.
So CCM, that's huge. So acronym, so what does CCM stand for?
Cincinnati Conservatory of Music.
Yeah, very prestigious, hard to get in. All three of you are so very humble. So Mary, can you talk a little bit about what you had an idea about kind of letting people know what IB was, kind of on a bigger scale, and you did a video.
Yeah, so the video I made was a school tour for the IB review. So every couple of years, our school gets like evaluated, like the program gets evaluated, and normally they would send in a real person to just walk around the school and see what our classes are like. But for COVID protocols, they couldn't send somebody, so I made the video to replace that.
Sure, instead of going around physically on a tour, you did the video, which is amazing, by the way. So many people have given major compliments to that. So did all three of you like participate in a conversation with the IB process?
I did.
You
yes.
did? Okay, and how was that?
It was really nice. All of the full IB diploma candidates got together and we did a Zoom call with some of the representatives from the IB program across the country. And it was just really nice to talk to other people who had a lot of experience in the field, as well as hear the perspectives of the other IB diploma candidates. And it was really a nice experience, and I learned a lot from it as well.
All right, so you're just not IB. Right, you do a lot. And actually last night I saw you, right? It's senior night for water polo. You won.
Yeah, we won.
Which is awesome, and you guys are doing such a great job. And again, as this is aired, it'll be after the water polo season.
Right.
But talk a little bit about some of the other things you do.
Well, other than water polo, I'm in National Honor Society. I'm the secretary of Spanish Honor Society, Key Club, Thespian Troupe, and I do some other non-clubs, like I tutor ESL students, and I do the morning announcements as a Spanish translator. And then outside of school, I'm a part of the American Red Cross Youth Action Council for International Humanitarian Law, and I'm just a community volunteer at both my church and Matthew 25 Ministries.
That's it? That's all you do? Seriously. You guys are so crazy involved with so many different things. David, talk to us a little bit about balance. Like, how do you balance everything that you're involved with? It's insane.
Balance is like definitely a big part of like just your everyday schedule. You know, I think at this point as a senior, I've kind of built it now. So, you go to school from 7 to 2, and then I get home, and then I take my brother home from school, and then I come back for cross country, which is 3 to 5. So that's when you're getting like that activity, physical activity every day. And then, so 3 to 5, and then I get home, eat, that's about 6 o'clock. And then, especially this year, I've been hammered with homework. So I get home, after I eat, I just do my homework, and then that takes me to like bedtime basically. But for sure, this year as a senior, and then especially with COVID last year, there's a lot of school things that I felt like I've missed out on. So like Friday night football games, stuff like that. I definitely try to find times for that, and just like hanging out with friends in general. Just because, you gotta go hard in school, and then you gotta like, stay in physical shape and all that. But there's also that social aspect where if you can't find that balance, sometimes it can be really tough.
Yeah, I'm so glad you talked about that, because so many times people look at like these definitive things. I'm an athlete or I'm a student. I'm really social or I'm antisocial. I don't like video games, I crave video games, right? But they're not all these definitive things, right? It's important to have that balance in doing that. And by the way, congratulations are in store. You're a commended scholar through College Board, amazing. PSAT, great results and all that. That's amazing work. There's not a lot of commended scholars in the country, so that's tremendous. Way to go.
Thank you.
Yep. There are some people, I know you had a great score on your ACT as well. You guys all did wonderful. Mary, talk a little bit about college. Like, I know that you guys all have these dreams and ambitions of going to college. Talk a little bit about like what you did to prepare for college.
I intend on going to college for French horn performance. So as a part of my application process, I'm going to have to audition for schools. So I have been preparing music that I'm going to have to play, and like preparing for different interviews. I've taken sample lessons with professors so I have like contact with them before I'll apply and stuff. And I've just been working hard to have good grades and good test scores to help with getting in.
Sure. It's a stressful time, right, when you have to make decisions. So just very quickly, can you let us know, are you leaning to college? Do you know where you want to go?
I'm leaning towards out of state,
Okay.
but I don't have a specific choice solidified. I'm
Okay.
kind of just waiting to see, after I apply to a different variety of schools, what the scholarship money will be like.
Sure. What are some colleges that are in play? Just in case anyone's watching right now, any college admissions officer, this is a special one for sure. So where are you looking?
I'm looking at Ohio State and UC for in-state, definitely.
Okay.
And then for out-of-state, I'm looking at Georgia State and Atlanta.
Okay.
And then University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And then my parents' alma mater, University of Southern Mississippi.
Okay. All right. Very good. You have another relative that graduated not too long ago, huh?
Yeah, my sister.
Yeah. Another beautifully talented young lady. And she actually went to your parents' alma mater, I believe.
Yeah, she's right there. She's there right now, actually, in her junior year. But she's currently in Spain, traveling abroad through the school, too. So
That is awesome. That'd be a nice little advantage right there.
It would be.
For sure. David, I know you have some really definitive goals, right, for college?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously in state you have like Ohio State, UC, those hard hitters, but like when I was looking at colleges over the summer, I was like, I need to reach school. And then I went to California, like just for vacation. I was like, you know what? Stanford would be a really nice school to go to, and that's my reach school for now.
We actually have a couple grads that one currently, I think, is just finishing up, and one that went there before. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, now I do.
Yeah. So, Dave, we could actually put you in touch with them. That'd be wonderful.
That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. Mary and I know really kind of definitive, right? French horn specifically. Where are you looking at?
It'll just depend on my auditions, but so far, reach schools will definitely be Boston Conservatory, Eastman, which is a music school in Rochester, and the New England Conservatory. And for things closer to home, CCM, Ohio State, and IU, Jacobs School of Music.
So listen, certainly appreciate you guys joining us. And a little known fact, people don't really know this, but I was a musician. I know you're probably thinking, what the heck did you play? I'm going to tell you. I played the cello and I played the bass. Equally terrible. I was bad. So bad, in fact, I was the last chair as a cellist. Terrible. And then, but my ego wouldn't allow me to be 5th chair. Right. So I moved up to 2nd stool playing the bass. Mary, how many people do you think there were played the bass?
Normally there's 4 in an orchestra.
Yeah, right? There were only 2, and I was the last one. In fact, I was so bad. The first stool, right, she was just like, please don't play in concert. So I took her advice to heed, and I did not play sports. Or I went to play sports, I didn't play the bass anymore. So I have so much respect for each and every one of you, not only for what you do musically, but also with a great participation in IB. We have a wonderful program, and I know full diploma candidate. There's several others too, which is great. And that's so highly unique in the state of Ohio in general, but there's nobody that offers the academic rigor that we offer. I know you guys have explored not only IB, but AP, CCP. You guys have done it all. Advanced placement, College Credit Plus, and so forth. So thanks for joining us. And can you join me saying go Vikes?
Sure.
All right. We'll be right back with you. And of course, as always, go Vikes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ICRC-TV Sports.
That's going to be a ball game.
Princeton takes the match.
Shot, goal! Brings a tackle at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vikings!
Welcome back to Viking Voices, the people of Princeton. Woo! Big episode we've had thus far, and we're going to bring it home. Probably no better way than bring it home to talk about yet another award winner, Purple Star Middle School. Here with superstar middle school principal, Dr. David Maxim. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Young man, Isaiah Hendricks. We're so excited to have you. We met you in the hallway walking, right?
Yes, sir.
And we came up and we were talking and you were just so engaging.
Yes, sir, I was.
Yes. So Isaiah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Hendricks. I'm in the 7th grade, and I'm really interested with the honors program, and I like playing the trumpet, and my favorite sport is basketball.
So Isaiah, the trumpet, honors, basketball, we talked earlier about balance and how difficult that is. Dr. Maxim, I know we talked to you about a lot of great things that you guys do. The Purple Star, that commitment to military families. Talk a little bit about that in the context of how do you balance everything, but also talk about the Purple Star.
Well, the Purple Star is something at the middle school we're extremely proud of because we want to show that we're supportive of all of our military families. So that's very important for us. We've also have some guests coming on later. We're one of the few middle schools in the country that has a ROTC program for 8th graders. So we're really excited about that opportunity that the students can have to explore that. And as you mentioned, being well-rounded, one of the things that we take very seriously and want to expose all of our middle school kids is different choices that they have, because we know every one of our kid has an inner passion and inner contribution, some kind of strength that they can give and contribute, and we want to find it for the kids and expose them to a wide range of opportunities so they can find what really lets them shine.
Yeah, so, I mean, so you have that. You have rigorous classes. Isaiah, you talked about the honors program. You also talked about our great music program, right? You talked about enjoying playing the trumpet,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And the balance, so balancing all that stuff can be difficult from time to time from a student. So how do you balance everything? Trumpet, basketball, really tough classes. How do you balance?
How I usually balance that is I usually do my work at school so I can get everything done. And I study my notes at home for my trumpet so I could get better. Usually I don't play at home because sometimes I can get a bit noisy. And basketball, usually I try to work on my jump shot because I feel like sometimes there's places where you can improve.
That's true. All right, Isaiah, true story here. I played basketball. When I was your age, there may not have been a worse basketball player than me in America. But every single day, this is what I did, true story, every day, I went like this, right underneath the hoop, over and over and over again, form shooting, religiously. I mean, I never missed it. Dr. Maxim, talk about the importance of being consistent and working hard.
Well, what I've found is you really have to focus on being committed to your goal, because there's always going to be an excuse that you can give yourself to not want to do something or not follow through with it. And so I think you have to be committed and really be focused on your goals so you don't let distractions take away from the things that you could do, because as we all know, we can always find a reason not to do something, but you really have to focus on your why you're doing something, and then that gets you through kind of some of the tough times.
So, Isaiah, support for military families. Like, we live in a great country, and we're still working on some things, but we live in a great country with great freedoms. Talk a little bit about what that means to you to live in a country where you're free to express opinions.
When I live in a country that that gives me freedom, I think about how people did things that I could basically never do, or some people could never do. I feel like that living in a country with freedom, it gives me a peace of mind that I know I'm safe. I can do some of the things that I really enjoy to do.
Like playing the trumpet and taking honors classes and all that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's great. Dr. Maxim, I know you have a tremendous staff. You're really, really proud of the staff. Talk a little bit about the staff and their contributions to the Purple Star and how that kind of all evolved, and maybe one specific program that you're really proud of.
So the Purple Star was something that I believe that Princeton has always been able to expose kids to careers in the military with the military signing day. So it was a natural progression for us at the middle school when they approached us about the program to get that. So actually, I really am proud of our ROTC program with the 8th grade, because we're one of the few select programs in the country that actually have it. We help pilot it, and so it's really, and even through COVID last year, we were able to get support for it. So we're up to about 10 to 12 kids that we have 8th graders participating in it. And what I'm most proud of at our school is the fact that we at the middle school know that developmentally our kids are finding who they are in the world. So we want to give them as many different opportunities to find their niche, their role that they can have. So that's one of the things that I'm most proud of. We offer STEM classes. We offer different levels of classes. We offer high school level credit that they could take in the 8th grade when they're on track here. So there's a lot of opportunities, no matter what a student's strength or skill or interest is, that we can provide for them. So if you were to ask me what I'm most proud of at PCMS, is that.
Yeah, there's great diversity of classes, great, beautiful diversity with our students and our staff. You know, we appreciate everything that you do. You have a great middle school there. I know you're recognized last year for some great positive things. You continue to stay on the grind and working hard. And we know, Isaiah, I don't know if you know this, but middle level students change your mind quite a bit.
Yes,
Would
sir.
you agree? The young adolescent, I spent years and years as a young adolescent. I say specialist. I don't know if I was a specialist, but I was a middle school principal and teacher. Man, and I love that time. But like every step of the way, there's some changes now.
Yes.
Every step. We certainly appreciate you being here, the great work that you do with the Purple Star, recognizing military families and helping support them. There's nothing greater, especially when we live in a country where we're learning and growing still. But we are free to express opinions, and there's other countries that don't allow that. They suppress it. So we appreciate all the great work that you do to support that great freedom.
All right, thank you for having us.
We'll be right back with you for Viking Voices, the people of Princeton.
On air or online, this is media for your community. This is ICRC-TV.
Welcome to Viking Voices, the people of Princeton. Here today, Hall of Fame students in a Hall of Fame school. As always,
Go Vikes!
Thanks for joining us this episode of Viking Voices, the people of Princeton. You know, it's always our honor when we recognize amazing students. You saw 3 incredible international baccalaureate students, including not only a full diploma IB student, which was amazing with a net, but also She was AP Scholar. And on top of that, David was AP Honors. So on all these great courses we offer, and that's probably what, not a lot of people know that, but our academic rigor at Princeton is incredible, especially when you look at all these wonderful opportunities we have for our students. On top of that, we recognized an unbelievable middle-level teacher, Teacher of the Year for Social Studies. Adam and his great creativity is something that benefits our students each and every day. And of course, bringing it home with something that's near and dear to us with the Purple Star Award that our middle school got. You know, supporting military families is critical, not only today, but each and every day of the school year. So we appreciate your attention for joining us, and stay tuned. Next episode, we're going to have more great middle-level students that are going to be here to talk about our amazing ROTC program, which is one of only a couple in the country. Thanks again for joining us, and of course, as always, go Vikes.